As a nurse, I've seen a lot of people with sleep deprivation. It affects their job, their home life. At Room to Room, we want to take the guesswork out of buying a mattress, and that's why we brought in this technology. It shows you what you need. We want to do the assessment and find exactly what's perfect for you.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Well, good evening and welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe here for the latest on your frigid forecast ahead. That, of course, tops all of our headlines tonight in the 10 o'clock broadcast is just how cold those temperatures are. If you've not walked outside just yet, well, don't, because it is that cold and we want you to stay warm. But understand getting out tomorrow morning will come at a cost if you do not have those layers. So make sure to get those out and we'll track the latest on those temperatures county by county here in just a moment. We also have a latest look at the plates for Pontotoc. Our chief meteorologist Matt Laupon was there. He's going to be showing us a little look in to see how things went and what the cause is all about. And trust me, it's a lot of feel-good stories that you're definitely going to want to stay tuned for. And showers and storms do return by midweek, but it does come with some positives, I guess you can look at it. And we'll look at that forecast here in just a moment, breaking down those rain chances day by day here in the Room to Room Weather Center. High temperatures didn't climb much today, only remaining in the upper 30s and low 40s, and since then we have just fallen off. We are in the downhill side of the roller coaster with mid to upper 20s north of Highway 6 and basically at freezing or slightly above freezing down south, but everyone on that downhill decline getting into those overnight hours, so a cold forecast is in place. And it's nights like tonight where I appreciate the fact that our linemen work so hard, or linemen and women work so hard to get that power back in line, because, you know, a couple weeks ago we were talking about the low 20s and folks didn't have ways to stay warm. Now a large part of North Mississippi has those ways to stay warm, and it's all thanks to the hardworking people of North Mississippi. And Matt has a recap of celebrating some of those individuals here in Pontotoc.
I'm here at the Agri Center in Pontotoc for Plates for Pontotoc Heroes. It's a way for the community to give back to those that worked so hard to restore power and keep things going during the ice storm.
Hardworking folks from the Pontotoc Electric Power Association, as well as first responders, were recognized for their hard work during and after last month's ice storm. Area restaurants sponsored by area businesses fed local heroes as part of the Plates for Pontotoc event. Rachel Ferguson says it was a natural response to honor those men and women who worked so hard to get the community back to normal.
Our community is strong, and they worked tirelessly during the ice storm to restore our power for thousands and thousands of members here in Pontotoc. And I just wanted to give back and say thank you for your hard work and dedication.
And honestly, just a great way for the community to come together and support those that helped out so much. From Pontotoc, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Laupon, Mississippi Live Weather.
Well, thank you, Matt, and a big thank you to the folks there in Pontotoc and everyone here in North Mississippi that has brought a little bit of that normalcy over that several week stretch, and we cannot thank you enough for all that you have done. But what we're tracking now is a cold night ahead, and all eyes are on this high pressure center working its way across the Mid-South into the Southeast. And whenever we're talking about this setup, reason why it matters is because that northern air continues to build into North Mississippi, and that's where that drier air comes from, but that's also where that colder air mass comes from. I mean, we're talking about Canada versus the United States in hockey. Well, who knew that the same thing was going on with our upper atmosphere as that Canadian air has cycled in. Now, up there towards the northeast, it's a snowy mess with just a very strong nor'easter up there. But what we're getting here is a calmer pattern, but still a cold pattern. And as this does start to shift, let me clear this out. We're going to see this high pressure system work its way off towards the east. And as it does so, we'll start to shift these winds just a bit. So this high pressure system moving overnight, that's going to be the big story. So much calmer winds in place by Tuesday at 3 a.m. And by the time we get into our Tuesday morning commute, you're starting to get some of these southerly winds working their way back into the forecast for Louisiana and Arkansas and even parts of North Mississippi, primarily going to be on or closer to the Mississippi River. So out there, getting some more of that cloud cover developing, but also some of those, I'm going to say milder than what we'll have in the rest of the state, because you're going to see a frigid forecast there along that Alabama state line here in just a moment. Throughout the day, though, high pressure will continue to work west to east, and as it does so, brings in that warmer air from the Gulf and allows us to warm up nicely during those afternoon plans. So the morning, not exactly telling the story for the entire day, as we do trend better basically over the next 12 hours. The next 24, 21 degrees heading out the door at 6 a.m. Layer up. Several layers, I guess layers up at this point. But as the day goes on, we're mid-30s there by 9 a.m. Upper 40s return by noon. That's warmer than a lot of locations got today. And into the afternoon, mid-50s do return to the forecast. Now, we will still see a breezy forecast, but it is going to be coming out of the south instead of the north. And that's going to allow that warmer air to return and also some of that moisture by the afternoon in the form of that cloud cover. That's what we're going to be going over in more details as this is setting the scene, working our way into the midweek time frame with those rain and storm chances. We're having all the latest details coming up here in the next 60 seconds for Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
I have been going to Tupelo Smiles my whole life. When I was a kid, I was unhappy about some uneven coloring on my teeth after getting my braces off, which at the time there really wasn't a fix. I was recently made aware of a solution that would totally fix it, which is exactly what we did. They not only heard my concerns, but they never stopped looking to solve my problem, and that's why I love Tupelo Smiles.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Beautiful night tonight in Tupelo, but beautifully cold at that 27 degrees in Lee County. Feels like 19 due to those windy conditions out of the north, 7 miles an hour right now. And a thank you to the folks there at Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling for sponsoring this look here in Tupelo. Beautiful night. Hopefully you got out to enjoy it this evening. Definitely a fun one, but I definitely saw a lot of jackets here in Tupelo. Oxford, Phoenix Building Solutions providing us this look out there. 27 degrees. Feels like values, a 6-degree change. Feeling like 21 degrees. So no matter where you're at, cold temperatures highlight the forecast, the big headline into those overnight hours, and that'll continue to be in place, working our way into our Tuesday morning. Kosciuszko right at freezing, but those feels like values taking us well below it. And as we head through the night and those clear skies still remain in place, allows for any of that heating that we got today to basically escape. That's why we do cool off pretty drastically into these overnight hours. We're 27 Tupelo, like we mentioned, but 24 Boonville and Iuka, 25 Holly Springs and Corinth, 30 Houston and Amory, and 34, hey, Stark Vegas. I guess things are heating up there on the baseball field and apparently also in the city itself because it's the warmest temperature here in North Mississippi as of right now. Those feels like values though, yeah, everyone is hurting from these winds because of how cold they are, and just adding another element to the forecast that we need to take into consideration when we're talking about any of these late night plans or early morning commutes. We're 18 in Oxford for feels like values, same thing New Albany and Boonville, 19 Iuka and Corinth, we're 26 there in Starkville, whereas it was an actual temperature of 34 degrees. So whether you're up north or down south, those winds dropping those temperatures, and of course that's going to make it feel that much colder outside. When you look at those wind speeds, it's a bit calmer from where we were at today, and this is a sign of that high pressure center moving closer to North Mississippi, and those winds will continue to become much calmer overnight. We're seeing basically no wind there at 3 a.m. and continuing into the 6 o'clock forecast. Now what that means is heading out the door tomorrow morning, I know that people are going to say, Gabe, you're crazy. I think 21 degrees is more bearable when there's not a breeze to it compared to what we had this morning of 25 degrees and breezy conditions out of the north. So I know it's cold either way, but I can do with this because you just wear a couple layers and you don't have to worry about that wind beating down on your face or any of those exposed limbs, your fingers or your ears. So I think it's a little bit more bearable, but I might be on my own on that one. Nonetheless, it's going to be cold, so layer up no matter where you're at. As we carry into those overnight hours, though, we're watching the progression of this high-pressure center working its way through South Mississippi, and of course, we're feeling the effects up here in North Mississippi as well. As that high-pressure center moves a little bit closer to the Magnolia State, that's where those winds become a bit calmer, allowing for a little bit of this cloud cover to develop as well. And as that high-pressure center works its way east, that's where that southerly wind works its way back, building us with moisture and a little bit more of those warmer temperatures. Low temperatures, though, on your Tuesday, we're going to be 22 New Albany, Oxford, and Holly Springs. We're 25 Tunica and South Haven, 27 Cleveland, Belzona, and 21 Eupora and Columbus. Well, let's go ahead and jump to those wind chill values, taking us into the teens. Senatobia, Holly Springs, South Haven, Tunica. Maggie, hope you're watching right now so that way you and Maya know how to prepare heading into tomorrow morning's forecast. But you also will want to stay tuned because Maggie's going to be tracking that with those feels like values in the teens in real time with you guys, letting you know a little bit more about that forecast before you head out the door. But I can go ahead and tell you she's going to say cold quite a bit. As Tuesday continues on, that southerly wind works its way into the forecast as well. And what that will do is allow that cloud cover and that moisture to build into North Mississippi. Again, priming those ingredients for that midweek rain chance. But on Tuesday, we're going to stay well away from those rain chances, and we're going to be good for any of those baseball games that are happening across North Mississippi, whether that is in Oxford or Starkville. Of course, took a look at those forecasts earlier on this evening, but it's going to be a beautiful one. This might be a little bit cooler to wrap up those game times, so have those light jackets on standby once again. But high temperatures are heading in the right direction. We're 55 in New Albany, Tupelo, 56 Amory and Columbus, 57 Kosciuszko, and 58 Belzona and Greenville. This is a decent step up from where we're at today, and that warming trend only continues into our Wednesday. So overnight, we continue to track that moisture in the area in the form of that cloud cover. I would say mostly cloudy conditions, more partly cloudy conditions, but nonetheless, that cloud will be back in the forecast. As we work our way into Wednesday morning, there's a chance at a few light showers. Wasn't overly sold on this as I was talking to you guys at 5 and 6 this evening, but nonetheless, the chance of a brief light shower is possible. But I think that we're going to be more miss than hit when we're talking about those Wednesday rain chances, at least for the first half of the day, because that's that moisture rebuilding in the area, and it is battling a very dry atmosphere like what we're dealing with right now. So low temperatures on your Wednesday, being that there is some moisture in the forecast. We're 40 in Amory, 40 in Boonville and Corinth, 39 still Red Bay and Vernon, but heading a little bit more out west, we're 46 Greenwood, Cleveland, and Clarksdale. So a little bit more mild out there towards the Mississippi River, but we're going to be able to enjoy that working our way into our Thursday and into our Friday. Again, those temperatures continue to get better. Not much of a wind chill, maybe dropping in a degree or two, but not like what we saw this morning where it was a near 6, 7, 8 degree difference compared to those actual temperatures. Wednesday morning stays with that cloud cover, and as we work our way into the afternoon time frame, there's a look at some of that moisture that's building into North Mississippi. Let's go ahead and expand things out and show you guys what exactly we're tracking. So it's going to be this frontal system that's continuing to work its way from that northwest to southeast direction, giving us these limited chances of rainfall on our Wednesday, especially there by the afternoon, once that front moves a little bit more overhead. But what I want you to notice from this graphic is this is becoming a stationary front. And what that means is it has very little movement attached to it. And so it's basically going to go right overhead and stall out, basically call it a stalled front at that point. And as it does so, it's going to remain right over the top of North Mississippi for your Wednesday evening and working its way into our Thursday. So rain chances, while they are there Wednesday night, I have it more light and isolated for those first rounds of showers, but getting into our Thursday, that's where storm chances and rain chances start to increase as well. High temperatures were 65 in Oxford, 70s though in Greenwood, Belzona, Greenville, and Kosciuszko, 69, basically call it 70 degrees down there towards the Golden Triangle, 66 Tupelo, and even 62 in Tishomingo County. Things are trending so much better, and we're going to be the beneficiaries when we're talking about these warmer temperatures. High temperatures just basically showing that upward progression. We're 40 today, but 55 Tuesday, 66 Wednesday, 70s by the weekend, shaping up for, honestly, I wish it was a home game here at State or Ole Miss for baseball, but either way, we can make some plans to get outside because it is going to be a gorgeous forecast and definitely feel a lot better. Mild conditions also return Thursday, a brief dip in temperatures due to that frontal system, but once we work our way into the latter part of the weekend, that's where some milder conditions do move in place, and we're going to enjoy that for our weekend. One thing I want to note, the rain chances on your Thursday. And before we head out, I meant to drag this graphic in So bear with me here real quick, but we're going to basically pull in a product that we showed earlier on this evening called Storm Finder. Again, it is a Mississippi Live exclusive, but I want to show that to you guys to basically let you know that, storms are possible. Are they going to be widespread? Are they going to be highly impactful? I think we're looking on the lower end of things, but I think that an impactful thunderstorm is not out of the question. So we're going to carry this over through your Tuesday. Let me make sure this goes all the way to Thursday. There we go. And as we get into Thursday, what do you see right here? You see this purple stripe. Basically what that means is our storm potential, our storm chances, and that highest potential is going to be right over the top of North Mississippi, working our way into Thursday afternoon. So it shows that very minimal movement that frontal system has, allowing for some of these thunderstorms to interact with those ingredients that are building into North Mississippi on your Tuesday afternoon, on your Wednesday, and into your Thursday morning. So all those ingredients are there, albeit they're not very strong, but there are some ingredients for potentially a thunderstorm to latch onto those ingredients and try to get on the stronger side. I still think there are still some questions heading into this event, but one that we're paying attention to as we get into our Thursday forecast and working our way into, of course, our Thursday evening. So as you can see right here, some of those lightning strikes, that's going to be that yellow that's popping up, showing that thunderstorms are expected, especially interacting with that daytime heating during the afternoon. As we work our way closer to the Golden Triangle, I do expect more of those chances to build into the forecast and even working our way into South Mississippi before those chances clear out late on our Thursday and leave us with a drier forecast on our Friday. Nonetheless, that 7-day forecast shaping up pretty nicely. I mean, we're talking about one day of decent rain chances. Beyond that, we're very dry Friday, we're very dry Saturday, and continue those dry conditions into Sunday as well. Now, low temperatures, they are going to be cool or very cold for Tuesday, but get more mild as the week goes on, and high temperatures get better as well. So honestly, this is a forecast that is not again, subjective, but I would say that I'm wintered out personally. I don't know your guys' opinions on the cold temperatures, but that's just what I would say. And I'm ready for some of that warmer air to move in here. And I've talked to a lot of folks in North Mississippi, and they seem to be on the same playing field. But I know there are still some fans out there that like the winter weather or like the winter air. So enjoy it heading into your Tuesday morning, because beyond that forecast, things are warming up. And that taste of spring we had last week and the week before works its way back into the forecast for midweek, moving into the weekend as well. If you have not, you think this will be our last freezing event before spring? I will say chances are lowering for any more of those freezing temperatures moving back into the forecast. It's not impossible, I'll say. We are still in winter up until, let's see, we have just under a month still of winter before spring does move in. So there's still potential. I'm hopeful that spring stays in place. That's just my personal bias, but based off of meteorological perspectives, it's not impossible. I mean, if you look right here, we're 39 degrees Saturday. It's only 7 degrees away from going back below that freezing point. So we're still just above that boundary. I would say it's not impossible, but the further we go into that late winter, early spring time frame, our chances do lower of getting below that freezing threshold once again. So again, I don't know what team you're on, Pitter Pat, but that's my thoughts on it, and I'm hopeful that we can definitely steer a little bit warmer. Again, personal bias I'm speaking here, so we'll see. And one thing I do want to note is I saw a reminder in the chat. Make sure to check on your pipes, your plants, your pets, your people. Anyone that is outside or anything that is outside is susceptible to that cold. So tonight, being that temperatures are dropping into the low 20s with wind chills into the teens in some spots, I would say go ahead and make sure that those pipes are covered. We were showing that with Absolute, our friends over there at Absolute Restoration. They had those pipe covers, so hopefully you got that earlier on this season. But go ahead and do what you can to cover it. Use a towel or anything like that. And I think that we'll be shaping up good the rest of the week. Just keep that rain gear around by Thursday. I hope you guys do have a great night. Yes, make sure to tune in tomorrow at 6:30 with our meteorologist Maggie McCauley. You can do so on the free Mississippi Live Weather app, and we appreciate everyone who has supported us so far. Our next broadcast with Maggie is at 6:30, 7, and 7:30, tracking that frigid forecast in real time. And of course, we will be back at 5, 6, and 10. Chief Meteorologist Matt Laubon and I telling you the very latest on that forecast. Moving into the next several days, and of course tracking the latest on those rain chances on Thursday as we head into our next weather maker here in North Mississippi. You guys have a great night, and we will see you bright and early for a terrific Tuesday.
The 9th Annual World of Customs Indoor Car Show, Friday through Sunday, February 27th through March 1st in Tupelo Furniture Market, Building 5. Custom cars, trucks, and bikes from across the nation. With adult admission, you'll get a ticket for a chance to win a Yukon Toolbox to be given away Sunday. Donated by Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning. A free garage floor from Bo's Best Epoxy Flooring. The World of Customs Car Show, February 27th through March 1st in Tupelo Furniture Market, Building 5. Partially funded by Visit Mississippi and Tupelo Visitors Bureau.